Yes, hi there. Welcome to the next training session based on cross applications. So here, as part of this session, what we are going to discuss about the what exception handling in case of this RFCs. Okay. So here we will discuss how to declare user defined exceptions, right? And we will discuss how to handle the user defined exceptions and how to handle the standard predefined, we can say standard exceptions. Okay, right. So here in our last two sessions we have discussed about this synchronous RFC and asynchronous RFC. Now there, as part of this RFC server, what we have done, we have created one remote enabled function module, and we were calling we were accessing that remote enabled function module from our from this RFC client machine, from RFC client machine. Okay, so here we will take the same we will take the same remote enabled function module. There we will declare one user define exception message, user define exception. Okay, right. Right. So what was the function module? gr underscore fm1. Okay, say display. Yes, so this was the function module, remote enabled function module, right? Which we have created here, right? In our this ECC EHP7 system, and this system is considered as what? RFC server. Okay, right. So now, as part of this function module, what we have done, we have declared one import parameter and two export parameters, right? And as part of that, we did not declare any exceptions. Okay, right. So now, what exceptions we will declare here? Let's log into the RFC client system also. Hmm. Let's go to RFC client program. What was the program name? gr underscore cross 1 and 2 na. So let's open 1 here, go to the change mode. Yes, let's try to execute it. Give the value as what? Let's say 1001. Okay, say execute. Yes, so we are getting the records, respective employee name and employee designation. Okay, so here, if we will try to get the data, for this 2001. Okay, so this 2001, it is not available there now. If we go to this S11 here, what was the table name? G Rohit underscore TB1 na. So this was the table name. Go to the display, go to the contents, and here if we check, these are the records available as part of this table, G Rohit underscore TB1. Okay, so what are the records? 1001, 3, 11, 16, 20. Okay, right. So if we will try, where it is, yes, in Esperana 19 RFC client system, if we will try to get the records for an employee number which is not available, okay, in our database table. Okay, so what it is returning, it is returning the blank records, right? So what we will do, we will declare one exception to handle this condition, this situation. Okay, where if there is no if there is no corresponding data related to related to the provided employee number at that point of time, it has to raise one exception, right? And as part of our program, what we will do, we will handle we will handle that exception, the user defined exception. Okay, right. And as part from the user defined exceptions, what we can do, as here in the RFCs, it is recommended that there are some predefined exceptions which are provided by SAP itself. Okay, those exceptions also we should handle. It is strongly recommended here. Okay, so what is the points here? Let's understand these also. What it is saying, in the remote enabled function module, it is currently only possible, to specify the classic exceptions. Okay, in other words, we can say non class based exceptions. Okay, non class based exceptions. Okay, class based exceptions we have discussed in our object oriented na, starting from CX. Okay, right? So here currently maybe in the coming releases, coming version, it will be what, it will allow, or we can say it will include class based exceptions, but here currently only what, only we have to what, we have to specify the classic exceptions, right? Yes. Second is what, in addition to the exceptions, in addition to the exceptions which are specified explicitly in the interface, which are specified explicitly in the interface of a remote enabled function module, we can say, here it is talking about the user defined functions, user defined exceptions, sorry, user defined exceptions. Okay, what it is saying here, let's read it once again. In addition to the exceptions which are specified explicitly in the interface of the remote enabled function module, the following predefined exceptions can occur in the RFC. Okay, so what are the predefined standard exceptions which are provided by SAP? Those are what, system underscore failure, communication underscore failure. Okay, so these two predefined exceptions can also occur in the RFC. These two exceptions can also occur RFC. Okay, so what is our responsibility here? We need to what, we need to handle these two predefined exceptions also. We need to handle these two predefined exceptions also. Okay, so what it is saying here, it is strongly recommended that all predefined exceptions, we are having two predefined exceptions, so all predefined exceptions are handled. Okay, strongly recommended. Okay, so what we will do, we will declare one user defined exception, we will handle that, and as apart from the user defined exception, what we will do, we will handle these predefined exceptions also. Okay, right. So let's get into our RFC server. Yes, here we have created this function module now. So as part of the same function module, we will declare one user defined exception. Okay, so let's switch to the change mode here. Yes, so let's give some exception name, let's say something, what, no employee, no employee. Okay, so our exception name is what, no employee. Okay, right. So this is the exception which we are declaring here. Okay, right. So let's what, now what we have to do, inside this source code, what we have to do, we need to raise this exception na? So when this exception has to be raised, this exception will be raised when there is no employee data na? When there is no employee data, or we can say when the select query, when the select statement will be what, this will be, we can say it will be failed when it is not successfully executed. At that point of time, that exception might be raised, right? That is no employees. Okay, so what we will do, after this select statement, here we will say, if psi of sub rc, if psi of sub rc is not equal to 0, it is not equal to 0. Okay, so when the psi of sub rc will be 0, when the select statement is successfully executed, at that point of time, the value for the psi of sub rc will set to 0, right? And when it is not set to 0, it means the previous select statement is not successfully executed. Okay, so here what we are doing, when the select statement is not successfully executed means when psi of sub rc is not equal to 0, right? And here as part of this if block, what we have to do, we need to raise our exception. Okay, so how we will raise, we will say raise, what is the exception name, no employee. Okay, right. So understand, so at the appropriate place we have to what, we have to raise this user defined exception, no employee. Okay, right. Let's save it, check for error. Yes, activate this. Hmm. Okay, so our we have what, we have successfully declared and raised, we can say, we have declared our user defined exceptions, and we have provided the what, statements, syntax for raising the user defined exceptions at the appropriate place, at the appropriate place. Okay, right. So now what we have to do, we need to handle our exception now, we need to handle this exception, right? So for that, what we will do, we are in what, we are in the RFC server system here. Okay, now let's go to the RFC client server S for HANA 1909. Okay, so this is the what, this is the what, this is the program na, RFC client program. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's make a copy of this same program here, program so and so. Let's say copy, let's say gr underscore cross 3, gr underscore cross 3. Okay, so this is the target program. Say copy, select all, and say copy here also, and here let's say it as what, local object. Yes, successfully copied. Now let's go to the change mode. Here in the utilities, in the go to menu, attributes, let's say what, exception handling in what, exception handling in RFC. Okay, right, type so and so, let's say save it. Yes. So total how many exceptions might be raised there? We have declared one user defined exception that might be raised, and apart from this user defined exceptions, there are what? There are two predefined exceptions which are provided by SAP. Those two predefined exceptions also we have to handle. Okay, right. So what we will do, as part of this block, we can say call function statements. We are what, after this exporting, importing, and here we will say exceptions. Already we know now how to handle the exceptions, right? So here we will say exceptions. What are the exceptions? First let's handle these predefined exceptions, right? So first was what, system underscore failure is equal to, let's say system underscore failure na, yes. Okay, next is what, communication underscore failure. Let's copy this one also. Yes, so here we will say is equal to 1. Next is what, exceptions. Why these are red? Okay, communication underscore failure, right? So here also we will say is equal to 2 here, right? And we have what, we have one user defined exception na, user defined exception. What is the name here? Employee, no employee na, no emp, no employee is equal to, let's say it as what, 3, right? And as apart from these three exceptions, two predefined and one user defined exceptions, there can be what, there can be some other exceptions also na. So for other exceptions, let's say it as what, others. Okay, right. And here for the others, we will set the psi of sub RC value as what, 4. We set the psi of sub RC value as 4 here. Okay, but why these are red here? Huh? Oh, exception na, spelling mistake. Yes, so exce, exceptions. Okay, right. So if this exception might be raised, if this predefined exception system underscore failure, it will be raised, then what SAP will do, SAP will set the psi of sub RC value as what, 1. Okay, and in case of communication underscore failure, the value for the psi of sub RC will be 2. In case of this user defined exception, value will be 3. Okay, and if any other exception might be raised there, then the psi of sub RC value will be 4 here, okay. So now what we will do, as part of our case and case what, psi of sub RC, psi of sub RC, case psi of sub RC. Here we will say what, when psi of sub RC value is 1 here, when it is 1, what we have to do, let's display one message there. Let's say message, what is the exception that might be raised there, system underscore failure no. So here we will say system underscore failure exception raised, okay. So this is the exception which will be raised. Okay, and the type will be what, type will be information message. Okay, right. And when psi of sub RC when psi of sub RC is 2, then we will say message, what is the message, communication underscore failure exception raised. Type is what, type information message, right? And when it is what, 3 here, when it is 3, it means sorry message. Okay, when psi of sub RC value is 4, it means there is what, there is no employee ID, there is no employee number, we can say no employee exception, user defined exception might be raised. Okay, right. So when 3, what we have to say, we have to say what no employee number is available, no employee number is available. Type is what? Type information message. Why these are red here? Communication underscore failure exception raised. Okay, right. So when next is what? For now, for the others, for the some other exceptions, I of sub RC value will be 4 here, and here we will say message other exception raised. Okay, and for case will be and case here. Okay, so this is the process how we can how we can handle the exceptions, in case of our this RFCs. Okay, right. System underscore failure, communication underscore failure, no employee, others. Okay, right. So in case of this synchronous RFC, we have discussed that both of the systems should be available there. What it is saying here, it requires both of the systems to be available at the time of communication or data transfer, right? So let's assume if one of the system is not available, or let's say RFC server system is not available at the time of communication, at the time of data transfer. Okay, so at that point of time, what it will do, it will raise the exceptions, it will raise the dump situation will be there. Okay, so for handling that type of situation, what we are doing, we are handling this communication failure exceptions. Okay, right. This is also for the system failure, right. Now let's save it, check for the error. Formal argument others must be at the end of the exception list. When is allowed only after case. What? Yes. Okay, so no syntax error. We have to what? We have to end this syntax na exception syntax. Okay, this calling of the calling of our function module. Okay, right. Check for the error. Yes, there is no error. Good. Let's activate it. 1 second please, it is taking some time here. Yes, objects gets activated, right. Now let's execute it. Okay, right. Yes, let's give the some employee number here, let's say 1001. Execute. We are in what? S4 HANA na? Yes, so we are getting what? We are getting the result, respective employee name and employee designation. Now let's give it as what? 2001. Okay, so for this 2001 employee number, there is what? There is no employee name and employee designation na? So let's execute it. Yes, good. So here we are getting the information, okay. So what it is doing here, while we are trying to get the data, for employee number 2001, at that point of time, what SAP is doing, SAP is raising the no employee, SAP is raising this no employee exception, where it is no user defined exception, which we have raised, which we have declared as part of our remote function module. Okay, right. So and as part of that, while handling that user defined exceptions, what we are doing, we are displaying one message now that no employee number is available. Okay, so this is the process of handling the exceptions in case of these RFCs. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to we must have to, it is, we can say, it is strongly recommended to handle the predefined exceptions also. Okay, as along with these predefined exceptions, we also, if we have declared any user defined exception, that exception also we have to handle. Okay, right. So so that's all for this session. We'll meet in our next session soon. Bye, take care.